Hi, this is James. Welcome back to the channel. So glad you are here. Um, I finally put up the picture online. Must admit, when I ordered this off of Amazon, that I thought it'd be bigger, but it's okay. Not a whole lot to cover today, but we have big news. Big news. According to Not By Sight News, the FBI is now investigating this whole cover up of Pete. And the only reason I'm still using the word Pete instead of his real name is because of the fact that he hasn't been formally charged. So, and I don't feel like being sued. So now that the FBI is involved, things could get really interesting. And ultimately, what we really want is we want to see justice done. If in fact, and I believe Jonathan and Susie, if their daughter was harmed in any way, whoever did it needs to be brought to justice. On this channel, we're all about exposing wolves in sheep's clothing, and this is what we've got to stop right here. And if you're covering up somebody who allegedly mistreated a child, there's no excuse. If you are proactive and you actually try to get somebody help, that's one thing. But when you're intentionally trying to cover up something, that's something completely different. And I want to see justice for that little girl. I also want to see justice for Susie Lamb, because yes, the chiropractor that allegedly mistreated her, he died in 2021. But nobody at Daystar will acknowledge the fact that, in fact, he did bad things. I think in Susie's case, what she really needs is for just people to acknowledge that it did happen and to be supportive of her. And, the fact that Joni Lamb is defending a guy who's dead instead of supporting her daughter-in-law, that ought to tell you something. It's just, here, let me move this back a little bit. That's better. The main thing I want to talk about today actually isn't related to Daystar. You have to understand there's a lot of things going on in the world, and I really don't want to do more than one video a day. Maybe one day after I retire from my job as a hospital chaplain, I can do more than one video a day. But I've just got a lot going. Even today, I was supposed to be off, but I ended up working a half a day. And I came home and just crashed. I was just exhausted. But Robin, who does the Megamaniacs podcast, and they do tremendous work. They really do. When she posted the video of Rod Parsley just absolutely berating her staff, or his staff, I mean. The Megamaniacs podcast, if you haven't watched that on YouTube, I would highly encourage you to watch it. Rod Parsley, there's one particular video where he's just berating his staff. And I just wonder, it's like, where in the world is the fruit of the Spirit in any of this stuff? Rod Parsley is a wolf. He is a wolf in sheep's clothing. I might as well put Rod Parsley's face right on that picture. The fruit of the Spirit is love, joy, peace, patience, goodness, kindness, gentleness, self-control. I don't see any of that in those videos. You know, there's things that I've been taught over the years when it comes to leadership. A huge one is that you praise in public and you criticize in private. You never want to embarrass the people that work for you. You never want to belittle the people that work for you in public, because you're trying to inspire them. You're trying to encourage them to do more than they think they can. And when people live in fear, just like we were talking the other day about the culture of Daystar. If people live in fear of you and they're afraid of being yelled at, they're going to do the bare minimum. And then, you know, they're going to avoid you. They're not going to go out of the way to try to do extra things for you. And it's just not a good work environment. And now, because Megamaniacs is telling the truth, Rod Parsley apparently doesn't like that. I don't know if it's Rod Parsley Ministries that's suing Megamaniacs or if it's World Harvest Church that's suing Megamaniacs, but they're trying to basically silence them with a lawsuit. Now, I'm going to put the link on the screen. I know it's the holiday season. I know I'll be posting this video on Christmas Day. I get that. And by the way, I'm going to tell you here in a few minutes what the plan is during the next, for basically the rest of the week. Because I'm going on vacation. I'm going to go see I love my daughters. I got 3 amazing daughters, and they're all different personalities. But I'm very, very, very blessed. I'm tearing up even just thinking about them. I love my daughters. They're amazing women. And by the grace of God, they grew up to become sane adults. Anyway, please, if you have a little bit, just a little bit. I know money is tight for some people. I get it. Please help Robin. Please help her. Rod Parsley is an absolute jerk. I normally try to be respectful. I know, even of like Daystar. Like, I believe that part of the reason that Joni Lamb is acting the way she is because she's grieving. Now, some people on here didn't agree with me on that, and that's fine. You don't have to agree with me on everything I say. Okay? You are very much entitled to your opinion. This is the 21st century. This is the United States of America, and I believe in free speech. So if you don't agree with me on something, that's okay. But I will acknowledge that Joni Lamb is, if you go back 5 years and look at the way she was then compared to the way she is now, she's different. And I attribute that to Doug Weiss, but Doug Weiss is also a wolf. But this Rod Parsley guy, I got nothing nice to say about this dude. Nothing. He is full-blown wolf. To yell and scream and holler at your staff, that is here, let me move this. That is absolutely appalling. I just wish, because I live in Texas, I wish I could just hop in my car and drive up to Ohio and confront this knucklehead face to face. It's like, how dare you talk to your staff that way? You know, you're supposed to be like Christ. So if for some crazy reason Rod Parsley actually got to watch this video, I want you to hear me, Pastor Rod. Stop yelling at your people. It's Christmas time. Love one another. In fact, you know what? I was going to read the passage out of 1 Corinthians 6. I got my New King James Bible on my Kindle. I'm going to go somewhere different. Pastor Rod, I think the best thing we can do is look at the words of Jesus. Well, I'm going to go to John 13. Rod Parsley needs to, I hope to God that Rod Parsley somehow sees this video. You're acting like this. Stop it. What did Jesus say about how we know who his followers are and who aren't? Let me put it up on the screen. John 13. Jesus is in the upper room when he says this. Let's start in verse 33. He says, "Little children, I shall be with you a little while longer. You will seek me. And as I said to the Jews, where I'm going, you cannot come. So now I say to you, a new commandment I give to you, that you love one another. As I have loved you, that you also love one another. By this, all will know that you are my disciples, if you have love for one another." If I go back and I look at that video of Rod Parsley berating his staff and yelling at his staff, and I compare it to what that says in John 13, there is no comparison. None. Zero. You're not being loving. You're not being kind. This is what you're being. Wolf. Reason you're suing Megamaniacs podcast is because you were exposed. It is absolutely awful. It is terrible. Quite frankly, Rod Parsley, you need to repent. All right, let's get to the rest of the week. What I'm going to do tomorrow is a video. There was a person that worked at Daystar that came forward. I should have took better notes. I tell you, there's a reason why I have a ton of respect for Not By Sight News, because he has to memorize things before he does his videos, and I'll have to go back and look at the name, but I'm going to show you tomorrow a video of a woman who worked at Daystar and what she said about during the telethons. All the staff have to help out answering the phones, and you're not going to want to miss that. And then what I'll do, Friday and Saturday. Friday, there's a story about this new movement. If some of you don't know my background, between 1995 and 1999, I was involved with the International Churches of Christ, and they had a split off, which became known as the International Christian Church, and now they have a split off called Restored Churches Worldwide. And this guy, Jason Dimitri, he's a carbon copy of Kip McKean. And so I'm going to respond to that. And then I'm not sure what I'll do for Saturday. So basically, I'm going to do a couple videos ahead of time. That way, while I'm on vacation, all I have to do is edit the video and then post it. And that way, there'll be content for the rest of the week. I should be back in Texas by next Sunday. And there's a very good chance that my wife and I are going to visit Gateway Church, because every time I've gone up on a Saturday for the service. So what I want to do is, because we are sports fans. We're going to a football game in New Mexico, and then drive back through Oklahoma. Actually going to rent a car. That way I don't put a whole bunch of miles on my car. And then drive down, stay the night somewhere in South Oklahoma. And then Sunday morning, drive to Dallas, go to church. And then she's got family that we are going to go see on Sunday. So what I'm saying is I'm going to do about 3 or 4 videos ahead of time. You'll full disclosure, all you got to do is pay attention to the shirt that I'm wearing. You'll know whether I made a video on the same day as another one. It's pretty obvious. But I do that so that I can maintain a normal life. It's just here lately I've been having to make videos very fresh because there's constant information coming out. The definite FBI involvement with this whole case against Pete is makes my heart warm. Makes me feel good. Ultimately, justice is going to be done. This little girl is going to get vindicated. And that's what's most important. We need to protect our kids and grandkids beyond anything else against wolves. So anyway, so that's the plan for the rest of the week. Even though I'm going on vacation, I don't want to leave you guys hanging. I want to make sure that we've got good content. I ask you to hit like and subscribe, but my responsibility is then to make good content. So, and we want to expose wolves in sheep's clothing. We want to see, and essentially we want to hold ministers to the standard that needs to be. Ministers need to operate and be above reproach. And that's the perspective that I think that I bring. As much as I love Not by Sight News, that dude is awesome. Blind Christian guy. My only criticism of him is I wish he would just tell us his first name. Whether it's Brian or Fred or whatever, my name's James. I'm not going to go by a nickname. But he does a great job. Julie Royce does an amazing job. She is a professional reporter, and her staff, they are very reliable sources. They do excellent work. But she's not a minister. I'm a minister. I bring that perspective, and I'm telling you what is, and I'm not perfect either, please. I'm not perfect, but I can tell you this is the standard. We, as ministers, are supposed to be above reproach. And if we're not, like a Rod Parsley who yells at his staff behind closed doors, or you know, a minister who travels and tries to do unspeakable things to 13-year-olds, that's not okay. And I'm tired of scandals. I'm tired of this garbage, and we need to do something about it. So we're going to expose these wolves in sheep's clothing. That's what we're going to do. People are like, oh, you're gossiping. It's like, if we don't stand up for our kids and grandkids, who is? Who's going to stand up for the? Who's going to stand up for what's right? I'm tired of powerful people like Rod Parsley who wants to sue people. And I'm going to put one more time, I'm going to put the link to the GoFundMe on there. He's trying to use his power to silence his critics instead of just admitting, hey, I messed up. I shouldn't have yelled at my people. I need to be more loving. I need to be more kind. If you had simply apologized to your people, we wouldn't be in this position. Now, would we? So, thank you for watching. Thank you for being here. Merry Christmas. I love you guys. Seriously. From the bottom of my heart. I pray for you every day. If you're a subscriber, I pray for you. So, have a great Christmas. Go love your family.